It is undoubtable that we are witnessing an end of an era that most people think should have not been allowed to exist, even if by force if required, and that is obviously the Fortnite era, but an era nonetheless has ended. Fortnite once again has fired 1,000 of their staff. And this is a big deal because these companies only fire people when it's no longer economically feasible. This is not a willy-nilly choice by Epic Games. Fortnite has been losing players for a very long time. This happened 5 days ago, roughly, and this was a memo sent out by Epic CEO. Today we're laying off over 1,000 Epic employees. We're sorry. I'm sorry. We're here again. The downturn in Fortnite's engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making. Yes, this is huge. Literally because of the admission that they are making less than they are spending. And you know what's the crazy part here? There's gonna be more layoffs. This is not gonna be enough because this layoff of roughly 1,000 Epic employees only means that we're making and we have to make a major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over 50 million of indefinite cost saving in contracts, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place. This is just a bandage because Fortnite's time is over. And this is honestly a great reminder that in business there is a huge fallacy. And that is something that you can see in gaming companies, YouTubers' attitudes, and pretty much honestly anywhere. You can see it also in you yourself, probably as a human. And that is the fact while everything is going good, everyone's a genius, everyone's doing the right stuff, everyone knows what's up. And the moment that the things start crumbling, it's going down. And I think Fortnite is going to be a massive, massive learning experience that not a lot of people are going to take seriously. And that is the fact that while things are good, in the so called Fortnite greasy years, the good ones, the primes, they did all these collabs with Nicki Minaj, Snoop, this, that, and that. And those are not actually that cheap. Those are not that cheap. They did not. Listen, they had to give a portion of the profits for these people because of their contracts for the skins. So they did not make that much money off of them. They made a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but they could have made more money if they actually decided to do some original shit. But instead of that, we got Skibbity Toilet. Yes, what a time to be alive indeed. And again, these things don't generate less money than they could. And I think these are objectively mistakes. All these giant things that Fortnite did to keep itself hot, while these are the right things to do because you need to keep your game fresh because that's how you last longer, I think they went over the board with a lot of things and how expensive they got. And now they are paying the ultimate cost for it because they bloated, and while they were kings, it didn't matter because again, when the things are good, every decision you make is genius. Okay? Every decision deserves to be written a book about because of how great and amazing it is. And when things truly go wrong, this is when your actual metal gets tested, and this is it. And now all of those decisions to make less with the skins, overspending on, giant events in Fortnite and shit like that. Now everything of that is going to come back to haunt you because this is going to erode a lot of goodwill from the people. This is no over exaggeration. Fortnite's dead. Fortnite is very much dying and is gonna die very fast. Because I have a nephew and he has told me when Fortnite was cool and he has told me when Fortnite was shit and it fell off. A lot of the reasons, by the way, Fortnite has fallen off, by the way, as much as I understand, is actually as fucking stupid and boring as literally just changing how controls interact because they removed skill. Because a lot of the things that I understand from my nephew, who's 13, 14 soon, a big issue why he and his friends stopped playing Fortnite was because they tried to make Fortnite accessible for the retards. As always, a game for everyone is a game for no one. And Fortnite seemingly did this. They actively just stripped components of skill, and more skill, so useless unks can play the game, and retarded useless unks. That's what it was. Some of these changes we're facing are industry-wide challenges: slow growth, weaker spendings, that's fluff, and tougher cost economics. Current consoles selling less than last generation. Bro, don't lie. No one's playing Fortnite on a console. It's not even top. No, actually, it is. It's still top 5 in Xbox. But that means there's maybe 5k people playing it, which is not good. Not good in the slightest. In essence, this was the thing written, and it's bad. It's really bad. Here's another type of summary here, which is pretty on point. This is one by Bellier. Fortnite made 6 billion last year, but because that was slightly less than year before, of course Epic had to fire 20% of their 5,000 strong team. Nothing else could possibly make sense. Now, to be absolutely fair, because it's true, nothing else. Like he's saying it ironically, but the truth is, it doesn't make sense. You can listen. You can cut the CEO's salary if you want, and instead of like 3 million, he's gonna make 2 million or 1 million. But when you're missing, but when you're missing close to $1 billion in money, cutting the salary of the CEO doesn't actually do a lot. You are forced always to cut their salaries, and do things like that, because the CEO's salary, when it comes to the whole company, is actually unironically fucking irrelevant. It's a small thing of life that not a lot of people know, and it's pretty funny. We have even the BBC flashbang, by the way. Fortnite maker Epic Games lays off 1,000 staff, and here they talk about the things that it's not good. Sweeney's notes the staff publisher Epic Games website said a last round of layoffs is additional blah 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 deficit costs. So they have a deficit. It's not, by the way, like they are seeing a deficit and these companies are instantaneously, okay, we need to cut people right now. That's not how it exactly works. This is not a decision that they make lightly, because these companies understand the moment that they fire people, they no longer can work in the same capacity, so that's bad. So they don't really want to fire people, as strange as that sounds. Again, they didn't fire people while the going was good, and no one praised them then. But now that the going is bad, oh no, you firing people. Listen. Yongya is 5 seconds away from making a video. Alana Pierce is 6 seconds away from making a video about, oh no, you hired a bunch of people while things were good, and now you're letting them go while things are bad? Heavens to Betsy. Idiots. And these are the estimate numbers, not full numbers. We don't have 2026. Well, the past, what is it, 5 months? No, 6 months or something like that. And as you can see, while Fortnite was popping off pretty heavily, the estimated numbers for Fortnite players were 2 million daily active right now, peak of the litter. That shit was wild. Again, Fortnite was the biggest game in the world for a reason. December, 22.16, then it started dropping. 2025 was when Fortnite slowly started to drop. 1.8, 1.5, 1.3, 1.11, 1.0, 1.15, 1.14. 1.1 August is the last actual estimate from 2025 that we have. And that is not good. That's not good, boys. That is a loss of 50% of your player base in one fucking year. Not even 1 year, honestly. Oof. That's a loss of 50% in 5 months. That is not good at all. And now it's even less because, again, in the memo, from everything that's said, we know that they lost at least 20% revenue this year over last year already. So that means it's bad. It's bad. Fortnite is not in a good position. And again, kids don't want to play Fortnite. Fortnite's the lame unk game at this point. I don't know what exactly are the problems. May it be skill expression, may it be this, that. It doesn't really even matter. At this point, everyone knows that Fortnite's going down, and no amount of Nicki Minaj skin-tight bodysuits that can be colored in exactly the skin tone are gonna save it at this point. And needless to say, Nicki Minaj probably is also, like, asking a lot for that, honestly, collaboration. Oh, Kim Kardashian also. Yeah, that's the good one. Anyway, and I don't think it's gonna help Epic in the slightest with Fortnite, the fact that they are clearly trying to get influencers with giant fan bases to come in and play Fortnite by doing collabs with them. Which, needless to say, is not gonna fucking work, okay? When you're doing that with Kim Kardashian, I think you're at your last legs. You do not know what's gonna work. Because you clearly thought when it was going good that the collab shit was actually a great decision. It wasn't. You were just the hottest thing on the block, so everything you do naturally was the best decision. That's how these things work. And this is why I think there's no saving Fortnite. The decline is here. Now, granted, Fortnite's not gonna close anytime soon. Epic Games is not gonna close anytime soon. Now, granted, there's going to be changes with the Epic storefront because obviously the Epic storefront was subsidized by Fortnite's success. It's one company at the end of the day, right? And now that's going to be gone. And I wonder how much impact that's going to actually do to the Epic store because there's going to be impact. They are very closely connected. Epic Store was dealing with losses for years upon years. Completely subsidized, by the way, by Fortnite. So, what's going to happen there? Questionable, but probably nothing that we're going to be too happy about. In any case, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.